What's up, everyone? I am Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra.
Comes back, he's gonna send it to the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead. They're gonna Joshua Banks is gonna win it. Unbelievable.
And also co-owner of M&J Distributors for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to V-Speed and subscribe to them, because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, you know, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, you know, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, you know, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
Lap traffic out of the way. It's between these two. They're even for the white flag lap.
This race still very undecided.
Bradley had the lift. Big run for McWard. This is going to be his chance.
They're running out of time, and they know it. Horsepower at their feet.
That was a huge run for Bradley. He got back the advantage, but here comes a big time. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, they put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash. Here comes Ray Massey. Ray Massey's going to win it.
Welcome to the World Center of Racing here tonight from Daytona International Speedway for the opening race of the Saturday Night Racing League, a Challenger Series, live tonight on V-Speed. 60 laps here. It's 150 miles. We've got 3 tire sets available. Not going to be too much of an issue for most of these drivers, but if you have enough accidents, you might wear the tires out. We got 2 green light checkered attempts, 80% fuel loads, and this is the opening race of the series. Just 10 races. Here we go, kicking things off for the Challenger Series for Saturday Night Racing League. Green flags in the air. We're off and away. And we got cars spinning, huge pile. Logan Threlkeld with the advantage. Here goes Matthew Radford, gonna jump to the outside. It's gonna be a drag race, and Radford's gonna win it.
Wow, what a finish. Man, Radford just timed that perfectly.
He's gonna come into 3 and 4 with about a half a second lead. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Across the line, it's Brian Chambliss with his first win of the season.
Jordan Trask, and they battle it out. They're going to get side by side. They're actually running it down here. What will Philip Brewer do? Will he try to get to the outside again? Not quite able to do it. Bryce clears him, but there goes Philip Brewer. Looks like Bryce Shoemaker is going to have no pressure from behind. Bryce Shoemaker is going to take the victory, 128 laps without a pit stop.
1/1000th of a second across that line. Chuck Sweeney led that lap by. But the white flag is out. Final time around for the Challenger Series at Michigan. The 2-mile speedway.
If you're Dakota Boy here, what do you do right now?
Look at the block down the backstretch.
You have to send it in hard here on the bottom, but Ferrara's got the preferred line.
And they're 3-4 wide back here in the 10th position. But off in turn 4 for the final time, side by side. A door check. 3 wide for the lead. Barada is going to get the win at Michigan.
He's loose down there, though. He really sent it in there on the bottom here. Caleb trying to complete the pass here to grab that lead back.
A little bit of a slide job. Here comes Chuck Sweeting on his way by. Caleb Weekly, after dominating here at Bristol, is going to take the win.
We'll see them both taking the high line, and he's in the back longer of the 9.
Oh, man, I think he's going to hang on, though.
Chambliss able to hold on to it, keeps the momentum. The 44 does not have enough as Brian Chambliss takes home race number 10. Dakota Floyd finishing in the 6th position as our championship winner here tonight.
You're watching the Saturday Night Racing Challenger Series, only on V-Speed.
It's Saturday night, and that means one thing and one thing only. It's time for Saturday Night Racing, and we're going to start out with the Challenger Series here at Kansas. Welcome inside the V-Speed booth. My name is Logan Threlkeld. Alongside me, as always, all season long, it's Jeff Wright up here for color commentary, and what a race we have on the boards tonight. 100 laps here at Kansas. We've got a fresh setup for these cars, and man, oh man, from the reviews I'm getting from the drivers, Jeff, it is slick out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely a handful out there tonight. And, you know, Kansas kind of being in a weird spot right now. It had the recent update with the artwork. It kind of drives, kind of feels a little bit different. But for some reason, something about this mile and a half just makes it super slick, all out of control, and really regardless of weather. So it is a little bit warm out there tonight. But, man, it's going to be fun to watch this up here in the booth with you, Logan, because these drivers are certainly going to be working all night long just to keep the car underneath them.
It is going to be a blast. Opened up June 1st of 2001, Kansas Speedway. Obviously out there in Kansas City, just over the river. So it does put it on the Kansas side. 1.5 miles in length, 17 degrees of banking in the corners, 10 degrees of bank across the front stretch, and our 4-corner tri-oval setup. Race analysis coming up here. We've got 100 laps tonight, pit road speed of 45 miles per hour. 3 tire sets available tonight. 2 green-white checkered attempts if needed at the very end. 80% fuel load and the iRacing fixed setup, which is slightly modified. I know the admins here spent quite a bit of time trying to get it right. We've got the schedule up on the screen now, and as you can see, we are at the midway point in our chase race bracket here. Kansas Motor Speedway, followed up by Michigan next week, and last but not least, to say who our champion will be Miami Homestead. Right now, it's looking really, really good for Dakota Floyd. Pull up our points now, as he's got a 26-point lead over Morgan Cook, sitting in second. Noah Mahalski, a close third place right now in the standings. Max Koss has made his way up to fourth here, 46 points back from the lead. Philip Brewer in the top 5. Judson Curtis, Jordan Trask, Matt Shinosky, Ben Laughter, and Caleb Weekly make up the rest of your top 10. And just outside of the top 10, it's Austin Belke, Bryce Shoemaker in that Team V-Speed car, where Bradley Cooper will be the pilot here tonight. Jeff, we are already ready for some grid action. Let's say we get right down to it here and see who took away the pole on tonight. And no shocker here whatsoever. It's that 57 of Dakota Floyd with a 31.952 with a 29 of Judson Curtis to his outside. Row 2 is going to be Philip Brewer in the 44 next to the 03 of Noah Mahalski starting out in 4th. Third row will be Jordan Trask in the 79 next to the 7 of Jared Skinner. In 7th, we've got the 13 of Caleb Weekly and V-Speed's very own. The 51 of Morgan Cook starting out in 8th. Last but not least in our top 10, a great start here for the 99, taking up the 9th starting spot next to the 18 of Rob Hamp. Brandon Wallace in that 9th spot.
Just outside the top 10 here, it's Matt Shinoski starting there in that 31 machine alongside Hunter Sr. Actually made his Cup Series debut last week. Posted the top 10. Look out for him. Austin Belke will roll off 13th tonight alongside V-Speed's very own. Bradley Cooper is back this week piloting the V-Speed car. Got Max Cost, a bit of a homecoming race for him. Was kind of around the Kansas City area. Has since moved to Texas, so he's looking to perform tonight. Alongside him, it's Justin Ritchie in that number 55. Bryce Shoemaker rolls off in the 17th starting spot tonight alongside Stephon Davis in 18th. And rounding out our top 20 here, it's Chris Rude and Tim Shinoski, who did not post a time.
We've got 5 more drivers to get through here. 25 cars making the field tonight. Christopher Hodges in the 15 will start in 21st next to Benjamin Richards in the 56. And 23rd, Keith Shoemaker in the 88 next to the 64 of Ben Laughter. Last but not least, it's that 9 of Tad Dabney rounding out our field. They are already coming down the backstretch, Jeff. Let's get right to the live action here. There's a beautiful overhead look here of Kansas Motor Speedway. And Jeff, I know you've been here multiple times throughout the past couple years. Tell us what it's like. What do we expect to see? Can we expect a similar race to what we see in real life here tonight in Sim?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, these cars are all over the place. It's going to take a driver to get up on the wheel tonight and get the job done. And we'll make our picks a little bit later in the broadcast, but it looks like we're going green here at Kansas Speedway.
Green flag is out, and Dakota Floyd away with a big jump right off the rip up to the top of the track to get down to the bottom here in turns 1 and 2. And that battle for third is already heating up. You see that 79 of Jordan Trask. He's already up 2 positions from 5th to get up here. But it's that battle now side by side just behind the 29 of Judson Curtis. It's Noah Mahalski and Caleb Weekly jockeying it out for a top 5 position.
Yeah, you're going to see these guys really fighting for track position here at the start. I mean, some guys are going to prefer to run down there towards the bottom. Some guys really like the high side here at Kansas Speedway. That's what makes this track such a fun place, not only to drive, but also to watch a race, because these guys got options. And we already talked about the conditions out there. It's hot, it's slick. You're going to see these guys really trying to wheel this car all the way around just on the brink of control. And I think, there's some key players that, I feel like that kind of plays into. We talk about the success that Dakota Floyd has had. Coming into tonight, 3 straight wins and 2 to start the chase. And he's already got the lead here early. It's going to be certainly tough for this field to do anything about that 57 of Dakota Floyd.
He has been on a tear since the end of the regular season and really just took off as soon as the postseason races started. Can't be too upset with that win at Vegas and Richmond. Let's see if he can make it 4 in a row here. Just ahead, we've got a little bit of a battle with Brandon Wallace here looking on the inside. Jared Skinner up in the middle groove of the track. Morgan Cook already looking to run a little bit of a higher line. Jordan Trask ahead of him trying to take advantage as well. Battle up here for second. Philip Brewer and Judson Curtis going blow for blow now. Brewer all the way up on the racetrack running that Larson line here early.
Yeah, and you can see the run that he's going to get down the back straightaway. He's probably going to clear Judson, or not quite, but certainly builds a run here running that top side of the racetrack. The only thing you really got to worry about is, it is extra slick up there. It is easy to get that car a little bit out of control, slide those rear tires, heat them up, and then it's going to make for a pretty difficult handling race car the rest of the night. But it just shows right now track position is key, and you're already seeing these guys move all the way around the racetrack. Dakota Floyd down there at the bottom. Here comes Philip Brewer sideways on corner exit, and now Judson Curtis has the position on the high side.
It's an all-out battle here for second. Dakota Floyd loving every bit of it in the rearview mirror. However, they are catching up to the 57. That gap is closing ever so slightly. Just inside 0.2 of a second for Philip Brewer to be back to the door of Dakota Floyd. See if he has anything to do with it. I know you saw there in that hype video for the Challenger Series, Brewer was bad fast all season long last year and ended up getting wrapped up in a couple things. He certainly seemed to have a better season so far this year. See if he can find some momentum late in these playoff races.
And he's had some bad fortune too. I mean, he hasn't got bad finishes, but I mean, he's had some penalties that he's had to serve at the beginning of some races that had really hurt his run. He's been able to salvage back and get some really good finishes. Still finishing in the top 5 a lot, but I mean, it has been a while since we've talked about this 44 Philip Brewer as a race-winning contender. He does have 2 wins to his name this season, as he's working on the race leader Dakota Floyd right now. He doesn't want to waste any time, but he won last at Phoenix, and that was back on March 1st. So it's certainly been a minute, you could say, since we saw this 44 in victory lane, but so far looking like he might be somebody to have to worry about tonight. And if we go back the last 2 seasons in the SNR Cup Series, when we raced Kansas in this particular car, he posted 2 top 10s, so certainly knows how to get around Kansas Speedway.
That he does, but it's going to be Judson Curtis around the outside here. Curtis is going to get that second position back. You'll see now Brewer will go to the high line there where Curtis just used in 1 and 2 to get around. Got a good run up to the back bumper here for Dakota Floyd to have another challenger in the picture. And it looks like Curtis and Brewer might just flip-flop here for a little while. Let's take a look back here at this battle that's forming with Morgan Cook. He's finally getting some sort of an advantage over Noah Mahalski. Got one more coming up on back onto the track. Cook with a little bit of contact to the wall. I believe that's Jared Skinner that's coming off of pit road. I'm not sure what happened to the 7, but he's already 3 laps down now.
Yeah, and you're starting to see these guys up here really battle it. I mean, you can see Morgan Cook already on a bit of a charge here. He's up to 5th after starting in the 8th position, just ahead. Caleb Weekly started 7th. He finds himself running 4th. Looks like he's slowly creeping up here towards the leaders, but I mean, these leaders they're pushing it right now. I mean, we see these guys really trying to grab that clean air. It is important at a racetrack like this at Kansas Speedway, and it's just fun to be able to watch these guys, go all the way around the racetrack. A couple laps, Dakota's on the bottom, now he's up at the top, but pretty impressed with the speed of this 29 of Judson Curtis. He was a race winner at Daytona at the start of the season, and since then, we haven't really talked about him a whole lot as a race-winning contender. Could this be the day that this 29 of Judson Curtis finally breaks through and maybe gets another win?
It very well could, as Dakota Floyd's going to go back to the bottom through 1 and 2, so Curtis should have a little bit of a run. It's not going to be enough to challenge down into 3 and 4, but Floyd back to the bottom again. This will give a better run this time for Curtis. See if he can catch up before turns 1 and 2, where I would expect Floyd to defend and use that high line. That's what he's been doing. Once somebody gets back up to the back bumper, he'll move right up the racetrack and defend that position to the best of his ability. But he goes back to the bottom this time through, and this might be it. And Curtis keeps him down on the track. This is the run down the backstretch that the 29 needs. He'll go high in 3 and 4 one more time, but he'll get the drive off of turn 4 as long as he doesn't slide. And it looks like Curtis should be able to get a lap lead, or, oh man, I think Floyd's going to hold him off. He does. Beats him to the line.
Floyd got the lap lead that time, and you can see the 29, though, he is pushing. He is giving it all he can, trying to get that race lead, try to get that clean air. But it just looks like Dakota Floyd's got really good drive off the corner right now. I mean, he even ran the bottom in 3 and 4, and still he's able to maintain and sometimes get a better run out of the corner of those guys running the top. So that's just really impressive to see right now from that 57, Dakota Floyd, running very good pace, but looks like he's taking care of his stuff as well. Looks like Justin Ritchie, you just saw, he's running the high line there, trying to run that Larson line, if you will. And I think he is up a few spots as well, trying to see where he started, looking up and down the order. Yeah, he started 16th. He is up to 12th. So he is on the move forward, and as is Max Cost. He's up 5 positions. Started 15th, up to 10th.
Cost on the move already, and really just a couple drivers who have not had the best start. Brandon Wallace started out in 9th. Rob Hamp started out in 10th. They're both back 5 positions respectively, looking at the 14th and 15th position right now. Noah Mahalski's fallen back 3 positions from his starting 4th spot. But other than that, it's been just a lot of movement up into the top 10 rather than out of it, it seems like, where Jared Skinner started out in 6th and now a couple laps down for him. I really would like to find out what happened to the 7 that caused that so early.
Yeah, it makes you maybe wonder if there is some sort of penalty on the initial start. I don't think he had anything last week. Put together a really solid race, so potentially a restart violation or start violation could have been. Now I'm watching the battle. We got a nice battle here between Rob Hamp, Christopher Hodges, and just behind them, see Ben Laughter and Stefan Davis and Caleb Weekly, Jordan Trask. They're going at it now. This is kind of the first time I've seen Caleb Weekly kind of venture up to the top side of the racetrack. He's going to get the run down the back straightaway, but Jordan Trask going to send it in hard down there towards the bottom middle of the racetrack. You can see cars are getting pretty odd out. It is slick out there.
Well, in your time that you have spent at the real life track, Jeff, how is this stacking up so much or so far to real life racing here?
Yeah, it's really similar. I mean, it's, you know, you got all the same lines and they're all usable. And man, that just makes such a fun racetrack to go and watch a race, just because, you know, the drivers aren't stuck. They have options. They can run the middle, they can run the bottom, the top, wherever. And I would say anybody that's watched the race here could attest to that. As we see, Morgan Cook just caught the fence. He's going to lose a lot of time. Caleb Weekly is actually going to get that spot back from him. So I don't think he hit it too hard, though. Just maybe scraped up the right side of that race car. He's still going to attempt to go for a pass here on Caleb Weekly at the bottom.
Tell you one thing I noticed, switching the camera over here to Noah Mahalski and Hunter Sr. battling it out for the 7th position. Mahalski already has some rear bumper damage. You see it right there in the middle. Somebody must have put the nose up underneath the back bumper of the 3, and it's not going to affect him too terribly much. However, that could make this already you see it right there. The already loose setup that this car has tonight is just getting a little bit worse for Noah Mahalski with that damage.
Yeah, I can speak, you know, firsthand experience. Getting that type of damage on the Xfinity Class B car here in iRacing is the worst spot you can ask for it. I mean, other than, you know, killing the front end and having an engine expire, you just lose all your rear downforce, and it really is a handful the rest of the night. His best bet here is he's going to hopefully catch a caution and have a chance to fix that, because if we're going to go a full 100 laps tonight and Noah doesn't get an opportunity to fix that, that's going to make for a really long day.
Caleb Weekly utilizes the apron across the tri-oval section, and he's going to collect that position over Morgan Cook. Morgan Cook still up 2 positions, but falls out of the top 5 for the moment. And Jeff, one thing, we talked to some of these drivers pre-race, it's about a 45 or so lap fuel run. So it seems that if this goes green, we're looking at a 2-stop race. If we see that yellow flag come out, how big of a change is that to these drivers here tonight?
Yeah, it's kind of an odd spot because it does open the door up to potentially, you know, making it a 1-stop if you can save enough fuel. Saving 5 laps over the course of, you know, that 45 to 50 lap run, that's kind of a lot to ask for, and I don't really know if that is doable without, you know, just giving up a ton of time. But, you know, most of these guys, I would assume, going to pit anywhere between lap 33 and 40. I think that's kind of your window. Your sweet spot, probably about 35-ish. But yeah, if you start getting cautions thrown in here, I feel like we've gone long enough. And speaking of cautions, I think we just spoke one into existence, as we got a bit of a tangle up here in the infield.
That we do. That's going to be the 32 of Chris Rude and the 60 of Stefan Davis wrapped up in this one. Let's take it back to the V-Speed Instant Replay and have a breakdown here of what happened to these 2 drivers coming off of turn 4. Looking now at Chris Rude. I think this might have started ahead of him, and it does. There goes the 60 sideways. Rude tries to check up, and man, just a big hit to that driver's side rear quarter panel. Take it back again and have an onboard look from Rude's perspective. Coming down the backstretch, all is good coming out of turn 2. Just up ahead there, you'll see the 60 start to get free on the bottom. He collects it a little bit, but ends up touching the apron one more time. Nearly pinches. Oh, man. What a big hit. That's a good chance of ending Chris Rude's race. He might be able to get it repaired, but that's a tough spot there. Let's go back and take a look at Stephen Davis here. Go back one more time as he's already in that spin. So just gets loose on the bottom, tags the apron, nearly collects. I believe that was maybe the 54. Not too sure. I think that might have been Bryce Shoemaker who snuck by on the outside, but unfortunate turnout there for Stephen Davis, and Chris Rude kind of being an innocent bystander in that one. Davis still trying to collect it there on the infield. That grass is slick.
Yeah, and there's quite a bit of damage to a couple of guys here. So some of this, I think, is definitely race ending with some of the impacts. But looks like he's going to lose a lap. But we talk about that caution. That's an opportunity for, some contenders like Noah Michalski to get his damage fixed. I think if that thing was going to go green to the end, he was in big trouble. We can see Noah Michalski's actually sitting on pit lane right now. Looks like the crew's working on it. They got the Louisville Sluggers out. They're trying to get that machine repaired. And there's no doubt in my mind that, if Noah gets all of that optional damage repaired, that he is somebody that can drive up towards the front and contend for this win. So nice break here for Noah. Not so fortunate break for some of those guys that got some heavy damage and got tangled up there on the infield, but a bit of a break reset here now, as we're going to have pretty much a one-stop race to the end here if it goes green. These guys do have 2 additional tire sets left. So now it opens up the door for some strategy too. Do you want to split this last run in half? Do you want to go a little bit longer? These guys are going to have some options now, and that's going to be fun to watch here as a spectator.
It's a little bit of a flip-flop up here in the top 3. Philip Brewer was able to get back to that second place position around Judson Curtis off of pit road. Oddly enough, Curtis with a much shorter time in the box, but loses that position. Jordan Trask now up in the top 4. Caleb Weekly runs 5th now. Hunter Sr. makes a couple spots up here. He'll be running in that 6th spot. Morgan Cook in 7th. Matt Shanoski takes up 8th. Austin Belke in 9th. And then Justin Ritchie will start out in 10th on this restart. The back half of the field didn't move much. That's kind of the beauty of it. We're going to restack everybody, and it's a whole new ball game here on this restart. Anything can happen, and anything will happen typically. But everybody has brought it down pit road, including Stephon Davis, who we saw stay out there, collected a lap back. He brought it back. He'll run 24th on this restart. Pace car will come off this time by. Lights are out down through turns 3 and 4. Here we go. Dakota Floyd leads us to the second green flag of the night. Watch that inside line into the Geico restart zone we go, and back on the loud pedal is Floyd with a big jump over Brewer. But Brewer able to hold that top line together here. A lot of space through the rest of the field. Shanoski moves down to the bottom immediately. Here we go. Jordan Trask stuck up on the outside. This will give Caleb Weekly an opportunity to get a run down the bottom. Cook back into the wall. A little bit of a shuffle behind with Hunter Sr. almost following him into the wall. Shanoski had to bring it down the track to avoid that one. And Trask still running that middle line. Here comes Weekly, but not enough to get to the door. He'll fall right in line. Morgan Cook trying to find somewhere to have an advantage. He's going to use that apron and get ahead of the 13 momentarily. It's a good battle here for this 4th position.
It's just hard to clear guys, though, on the bottom. A lot of times, guys get good runs off the top lane. It can be hard to make a pass. You see Justin Ritchie kind of elevator move down to the bottom as he's going to get around the 31 of Matt Shanoski and now set his sights right there on Hunter Sr. in the number 1 Oreo car. That's a good-looking paint scheme to see out there. And you can see Austin Belke just behind there and Max Cost as they battle side by side here as they get ready to go into turn 1. Then Ben Laughter and Bradley Cooper battling just behind them.
And it's going to be 3 wide as Noah Michalski sends it through the middle. He's going to make it stick. Oh, got loose on corner exit, but he does slide up ahead of Ben Laughter. What a move coming from the 03. And that too was just stuck on the bottom, nowhere quite to go, so he didn't get the run that he needed, but he is going to get the advantage over Ben Laughter here on corner exit of 4. Brings it right back down to that white line. A lot of these drivers not utilizing that apron move, but there goes Rob Hamp behind. He'll be the only car on the bottom of the track here at the back half of the field. Laughter still trying to find momentum using that top line, but it's just about single filed out once more. A little over a quarter of the way through this race, and very quickly does it single file. Laughter to the bottom to try to get around Cooper here. He's clear. Does he slide it up to the top of the track? And he does. So Laughter back into 13th position. Cooper back to 14th, and side by side for Belke and Mahalski just ahead of them. Let's take a look back up here towards the front where Dakota Floyd is getting hounded right now by Philip Brewer on these fresh tires. Brewer found that bumper, and he has not let go since. Judson Curtis has given up just a touch. Could be saving some tires and expecting a long run here. We already saw 22 laps of green flag racing to start this one out. Get that ticker back up on that left side of your screen so you guys know where everybody is. We know the paint schemes, but the names certainly help. Floyd and Brewer wrapping the bottom line. Judson Curtis still using that top. Trask and Cook both using the top line as well, trying to catch back up to these leaders.
Yeah, and I see Morgan Cook really getting close to that wall there. He is trying to utilize every inch of this racetrack, but now here's a run from the 44. Does he have anything here to maybe get underneath Dakota Floyd? He's going to shut the door here on the apron. But, man, I just think that you really got to push here to try to get that clean air. If you just let Dakota Floyd continually lead out here, the longer the run goes, I feel like more of an advantage he's going to get. So I like that the idea here that Philip Brewer is trying to pressure him, but it's not going to be an easy pass. Side by side here into turn 3. Philip Brewer going to send it in hard on the bottom. But, yeah, Dakota Floyd just going to have the run off the corner here. I don't think he's going to be able to clear him. Almost does. All that speed going to carry down the front straightaway here for the 57 of Dakota Floyd. But this is the most we've seen somebody really challenge him here for the race lead.
This might be the opportunity for Brewer here. If he can just get that back bumper just clear, he can slide up the racetrack, but it's not going to happen. As you can see, that big run off the top, and Floyd will get entirely clear down the backstretch into turn 3. And right back to the top line he goes to keep that momentum rolling here. There comes Judson Curtis on the bottom line, trying to make it 3 wide for the lead. Just didn't quite get there. It's only a matter of time before we see that 29 make a move up here, but it's going to stay side by side for the lead. Brewer back to the bottom. Look at all these drivers behind, starting to catch up as our leaders are battling it out. Brewer still can't quite get clear. And there goes Curtis right up to the top. He's not going to let the 44 back in line. Brewer didn't quite seem like he wanted to go for it.
But, man, these guys are putting on a good show. Almost 3 wide now here for the race lead. Is Judson Curtis going to try to go down on the apron, try to get underneath the 44. Can't quite do it. But, man, these guys are going hard at it now for the race lead and probably putting Dakota Floyd in a position where he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to have to go up there and use the outside line. You can see how good and consistent he is on the bottom of the racetrack, painting that white line lap after lap. But when you got Philip Brewer or Judson Curtis pressuring you, you have no choice but to go up there and defend.
That's what's going to be the name of the game here tonight, is how well you can stop the driver from behind getting that big run that we've seen happen a couple times. Dakota Floyd has mastered his blocking ability here this season. We'll see if anybody will use the bumper, the chrome horn as some would call it, towards the end of this race. Get that 57 out of his groove. Let's take a look a little bit further back as Hunter Sr. is catching up to the 13. He's going to take a look to the inside. Caleb Weekly shuts that door, and Max Kosk, Noah Mahalski are going to follow across that bottom line. It's a good run here inside the top 10. It's a good run through the entire field. A lot of close battles just outside of the top 10. Chinosky and Belke still looking to get each other clear. And back behind them, Christopher Hodges, Cooper, Wallace, Hamp, they're all still jockeying for position. Tad Dabney in the 19th position, trying to get around the 54 of Bryce Shoemaker. Man, this is so much action up here in the top 10. It's hard to look away. You never know what's going to happen. especially this late in the playoffs, everybody's really going to roll the dice here. It might not be Vegas, but it's a gamble for the rest of these races.
It really is. And I'm kind of surprised that we're not seeing this race get as spread out as it can sometimes, at least in the Xfinity car. You know, we talk about the Class A car and the Cup Series and how the draft is such a factor that kind of keeps everybody packed up. But this is interesting to see that this race is really not spreading out that much. These guys are all over the racetrack. There is battles all throughout the lead. These guys are all bunched up, and this is just a blast to watch right now. It's kind of hard to pick and choose what battles do we want to watch because there's just so many out there.
Right now we're watching Hunter Sr. and Caleb Weekly still. Weekly up on the high side. They can't quite get clear from door-to-door action. Noah Michalski's right behind. He's gained a position over Max Kost. Kost starting to lose some momentum. He's got Ben Lafter knocking at the back door now. See if he can hold him at bay, but Senior back to that bottom line. And that's the thing here. It's just there's so much opportunity for a different driving line, and you can find the grip at any given moment on the track. Right now, looking at 116 degrees on that track surface. So it's hot, it's slick. It's all about minimizing how much that tire is sliding across the surface, as it's just going to treat it like a cheese grater right now.
And I'm looking back through the field. Noah Michalski, we talked about the damage that he had early on. Well, guess what? I think he has it fixed because he is starting to move through the field now, and he is running some really solid lap positions. I just saw him got around Caleb Weekly, which was the battle for the 8th position. So he actually went to the back to fix all his damage, and now he is charging towards the front.
Going to take it back here to V-Speed Instant Replay, where Philip Brewer was able to get around Dakota Floyd. It looked like Floyd had a decent bobble here. He does. He gets up into the wall in turns 3 and 4, slows the 57 down quite a bit, and Brewer saw it, immediately shot down to the bottom and put about a 3-car length gap over the 57 before the start-finish line and just continued to extend it down into turn 1. Great move by the 44 of Brewer.
Yeah, and this is going to be the first time we've seen Dakota Floyd really have to have dirty air be a factor for him now running in the 2nd place position. We'll see how he reacts to this. And so far, a decent lead that Philip Brewer is starting to stretch out now, as Dakota Floyd still electing to run that bottom. But wow, the race leader is sideways. We talk about how slick Kansas Speedway is, and even as the race leader, you just cannot relax around this racetrack. You got to be up on the wheel, and you got to be focused every single lap. A big slide like that's going to heat up those tires, and now I wouldn't be surprised we see these guys maybe run him back down.
Now, you mentioned the dirty air for Dakota Floyd right now being a factor for him, but I am more curious as to the benefits right now for Philip Brewer, as this is the first time he's had clean air on the nose of the 44, and he is making it count. So he's got a half-second lead here over Dakota Floyd, and he's extended it up to about 0.6 of a second as they come out of turn 2 pretty consistently. This is going to be a good challenge for Floyd if he wants to make it 4 in a row tonight. Not quite to the halfway mark, but Floyd running that bottom line. He's going to be saving tires a little bit more than Philip Brewer. Brewer knowing that these drivers will have to make at least one more pit stop here tonight. All these drivers have already taken one set of tires. So we've got, I believe, just one more set laying over the wall for the rest of this race here, Jeff.
Yeah, that's going to definitely make it interesting strategy for a lot of these guys, depending on how that all plays out here. Right now, I believe everybody's got 2 sets up on the wall. Oh, my goodness, contact.
Morgan Cook, big time loose. He's going to be into the wall here. Not what you want to see for the V-Speed 51. Caution flag is out for the 2nd time tonight here on lap 45. Morgan Cook. Oh, man. That is not nearly as much. Oh, he might be crab walking a little bit more. It might have just been tire spin getting up and going again.
That is big time damage for the championship points contender. Needed to have a good run today, as Dakota Floyd has kind of gained points on everybody every single week with these race wins. So he needed a good run today, and looks like We'll have to see exactly what kind of triggered all of this, but it definitely got some damage as he gets turned head on in the fence.
Back here on the V-Speed Instant Replay, you see Mahalski looking to the inside from behind, and doesn't quite look like he got there for contact. I think just taking that air off the rear wing there, rear spoiler for the 51 was enough to do it, and that's actually going to collect the 13 of Weekly. The 24 of Belky gets a little bit of a tap from Weekly. Let's see here. It's Weekly. I don't think he's crab walking much. Let's take it back one more time, get a better view here. And onboard with Weekly. See the tire smoke coming from the 51. There he is into the wall. Tried to sneak by, just barely got tagged. Oh, that's enough to heat up those tires though, and really do some wear down.
Yeah, he's got some really significant damage on the right rear of his race car. He's gonna have to try to fix all that. You don't know how bad it is, and then you saw the contact there with the 24 on the right front. So he's got a little bit of damage in a couple different places right now on that race car. So definitely going to use this caution to try and repair as much as he can. You know, it was a shame. Caleb Weekly having a great race early on there, running inside the top 5. Looked like he had some really good long run pace as well. And some damage going to set him back now, but we'll see if he can get that fixed and get back out there. Somebody that we talked about that had damage even earlier yet was Noah Mahalski, and we saw him really make a charge through the field. So big props to him. Get the car fixed, get back out on track, and we'll see what he can do here the second half of this race.
That we will, but for now, let's take it to a quick commercial break, have a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back for some more green flag action here on Saturday night. And we are back, and our drivers coming out of turn number 4 right now. Pace car is off. Dakota Floyd leads us to the third green flag of the race. Geico restart zone we go, and back on the loud pedal one more time. Our entire field has brought it down here, and it looks like a lot of 4-tire sequences here as well. So that's going to be the end of the tires here tonight, if our information is correct, Jeff.
Yeah, that I believe you're correct here. So these guys are in a unique position here. This is not quite, I don't think they have enough fuel to go a full distance either here. So I think everybody's got one set left. And so if that is correct, I think you're going to go about 25 laps and you're probably going to pit, and you'll be done pitting for the remainder of this race. So we will see what happens here.
It's 3 wide coming across the tri-oval here. Max Cost on the bottom, Bryce Shoemaker in the middle. Austin Belky up high on the track. Here comes Bradley Cooper across the bottom, trying to get some positions, and he's going to do it. He'll clear both the 54 and the 24. Cooper now in his best running position so far this race, up in the top 10. And he's not going to be let go easy, as Rob Hamp in the 18 is going to catch right back up to him. A little bit of separation now as Cooper's going to use that bottom line through the apron. Look at this, Philip Brewer. We saw him battling for that number 1 position. He was in the first place spot. Now finds himself clawing back through the top 10 here for the 44. It's going to be quite the drive. Near contact with Rob Hamp on the outside. Now it's the time for Brewer to sneak back up to that top line where he's found so much success already this race.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be long at all before we see that 44 back up here for the lead. But how about this? Jordan Trask, Dakota Floyd dueling it out here for the top spot, as Jordan Trask going to send it in hard down here on the bottom. But Dakota Floyd been so good here at getting good drive off the high side. Jordan Trask is loose. He's going to lose a spot to Noah Mahalski.
Trask still trying to pick up that first win of this season. Falls back to third. Mahalski now looking to claim another one, I believe. He's got 3 on the season so far, looking to make it number 4 here and first one in the postseason bracket. Judson Curtis, Hunter Sr. battling it out here for 4th place just behind Jordan Trask. We'll take a look at this one as Curtis going to go high up on the racetrack, try to get some momentum down the back stretch against the 1. He's going to keep him down on the track, so this is going to be the time to shine for Judson Curtis. Doesn't get enough going, though. That draft from the 79 didn't quite help.
And Hunter Sr., I mean, he's just kind of had a sneaky run so far. I mean, started in the 12th spot. Now he finds himself battling up here in the top 5. And some other guys, too, that are big on the move. Justin Ritchie, he is up to 6th after starting 16th. And Max Costas finally cracked himself a little bit further here into the top 10. So some of these guys are competing for that biggest mover right now. And looks like a lot of these guys are just trying to be smooth with it, try to take care of their stuff. You know, they might feel like they don't have the raw pace to go up there and challenge the race leaders, but if you can take care of your stuff and knowing that you only got 1 tire set the rest of this race, I mean, this is the set you got to say that you got to be really careful with. And looks like Justin Ritchie's doing a good job of that right now.
Looking off the back bumper of Jordan Trask as we see this battle between Senior and Curtis getting even more heated up. Side by side with Curtis on the bottom. Senior will get the advantage. So number 4 spot for the number 1 car. See if he can find some pace to make it a podium position. But look at this. Noah Mahalski back on the attack here to the inside of Dakota Floyd down the tri-oval to start lap 56. And Noah Mahalski's going to get the advantage. Does he have enough room to slide up in front of the 57? That's going to be a no. Dakota Floyd will get the drive down the backstretch and surely have the advantage across the stripe here. But I don't know. Mahalski did a great job of keeping Floyd way up there. Now he's clear. If he can slide up this time, that position's his. He does it.
Yeah, he's got it. And what a comeback here for Noah Mahalski. We talked about the damage early on. A lot of times, if you don't catch a yellow and you don't have a chance to fix that, your race is pretty much over in terms of competing for a win. And looks like he's got it fixed. He's got some tires on it, and he is setting sail right now. He has got the clean air. This is going to be a tough one to get back from Noah Mahalski. He's a very good driver, won a handful of races this season, 3 to be exact. And some may argue he could have had quite a bit more. Now he's out front here at Kansas Speedway, his home racetrack. Be something if he could come out of here and get a win.
So we've got word from Race Control, Jeff. It is 1 more tire set over the wall available for these drivers. So it's 3 tire sets to start over the wall, 1 on the car. So we still have a little bit of strategy here at play. It'll be interesting to see what these drivers will choose to do. Here's Hunter Sr. looking for that podium spot. To the inside of Jordan Trask, the 79 high up on the track. The 57 still battling dirty air from Noah Mahalski as Mahalski able to reach out to about 0.3 of a second. And Hunter Sr. is going to get to that number 3 position here. A great drive, up 9 positions so far. Only 2 other drivers have moved more. That's going to be the 55 of Justin Ritchie in 6th place, up 10. And Ben Lafter, who's battling Brandon Wallace right now, he's up 9 positions, looking to make it 10. We'll go back here and take a look at what's happening between the 64 and the 99. Lafter way up on the track, a little loose there. You can see the rear end starting to step out. Wallace to the inside. They're both trying to get a drive around the 31 of Matt Shinofsky and the 7 of Jared Skinner. They're going to have to get away from battling side by side for either one of them to do that. Skinner and Shinofsky both utilizing that bottom line. Brandon Wallace follows, and he'll get back ahead of the 64 here coming down the back stretch.
Here's the battle for the race lead starting to heat back up. Looks like Dakota Floyd is now choosing to pressure Noah Mahalski back here for the race lead. He's on the bottom now, so the roles are a little bit reversed. We'll see if Noah Mahalski can rip the high side and try to keep this 57 behind him. But it looks like maybe Dakota Floyd, elected to save his stuff and didn't want to fight for that lead too hard. But now it looks like he is getting up on the wheel here, and he is trying to take it back as Noah Michalski a little bit slippery out of the corners here. Dakota Floyd going to send it hard down here on the bottom, but you can see Noah Michalski, he's starting to run that middle line a little bit, trying to pinch him a little bit, try to take away some side force maybe, as both these guys going to be side by side here for the race lead here at Kansas Speedway.
Michalski keeps the advantage across the line, so that's taking away another lap led from the 57. But here he is, right back to the bottom. He gets right to the door. Michalski just doing a fantastic job of keeping the 57 from getting a good run, utilizing that bottom. He'll be well clear coming down the back stretch, and it's going to be force Floyd to make a move that he's uncomfortable with. That's what Michalski is focusing on right now. So we're going to come around and click up to lap 63. We're starting to get into that territory where some of these drivers might bring it down pit road and go ahead and take that last set and top off with some Sunoco fuel. Make sure they can make it to the end of this race. A little bit of a hornet's nest back here in the top 5 where Jordan Trask has fallen back to the 5th position under fire from Justin Ritchie and previous race leader Philip Brewer, making his way back through the top 10 like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, and he's having a little bit of trouble, I think, kind of getting up there as fast as I thought he would. And, maybe it is he's just trying to focus on taking care of his stuff, but he showed so much speed up there towards the front when he was in the top 3. Now it just looks like he might not have places to go, and is he actually going to catch the wall just a hair or at least very close? You get behind some of these guys with dirty air, and it could be hard to go places.
Richie got really loose off the bottom of 2, and that's going to allow the 79 back by for that position. But Richie with a good drive down into 3. We'll be back to door with the 79. He's going to keep it well off the top. Ooh, almost contact there. The 55 thought he could come up, and the 79 thought he could come down. Luckily, they kept it off of each other. Richie with the advantage across that start-finish line. Max Cost right now running 8th on the outside looking in, waiting for one of these drivers to make a mistake, as well as Philip Brewer, who's really starting to insert himself into the equation here with this battle for 6th. Apologize.
It's just where do you go? Yeah, I mean, Philip Brewer looks like he's fast and he's about ready to pass both these guys, but there's just not really a lane for him to go. He's going to try to make a 3rd. Why not go up the middle here?
Absolutely going to make a 3rd as both drivers ahead get loose. He's going to immediately clear the 79 back to the top line where we've seen Philip Brewer have success, but he gets the wall. He's still riding the wall all the way around turns 1 and 2. He's going to lose all that momentum. Here comes 79 back on the inside. Max Koss with a big run down the back stretch. He'll take up that position away from Philip Brewer. Koss to the 7th. Looking to the inside to make it 6th.
And he's just going to go ahead and pit here. They are inside the fuel window. It looks like he probably figured, he can't really go anywhere right now. So might as well come down, put tires on it, fill it up. This is going to be his last stop of the day. So this might force the hands of some of the leaders. I mean, it is a little bit early, but if you're going to do anything to compete with the leaders, you got to do something different. So I like the call here from Philip Brewer to go ahead and take it down, get 4 tires, get back out there and see what you got.
Going for a little bit of a undercut strategy here. We'll see if it pays off for Philip Brewer. The one thing that he needs to happen now is for the rest of this race to go green, for this one to really work out. I tell you what, that was a sweet move there from Jordan Trask. He got the over-under completed on Max Kost as Kost was able to slide up ahead, but Trask able to get it back down to the bottom coming out of turn 4. Oh, and Kost into the wall a little bit. Nearly bounces back down the track into Jordan Trask. And this battle for the lead heating up one more time here. Dakota Floyd looking to the inside. Noah Michalski, see if he can defend it again. You get such a big run down across that apron, though. It's really hard to defend that position unless you really fully commit to going that same line. Brewer, he's going to get the nose advantage, but a little bit of a bobble off the bottom of the corner is going to keep them side by side.
I think he's got it.
Floyd does get it, but he didn't get that optimal entrance line for turn 3. That's going to allow Michalski to get back to that rear quarter panel and keeps Floyd pinched down on the track coming out of turn 4. This is where Floyd needs to immediately slide up, nearly catch that wall, and dive down into one. He does.
Yeah, you can see right now, he's got a lot better drive off the corner than what Noah has. I think maybe Noah running that upper high side or just maybe pushing his stuff a little bit harder than Dakota in the early goings is starting to show. He's not going to give up, though. He's going to shoot it back down to the bottom of the racetrack. I just don't know if he's got the rear tires to get that drive off the corner like we see right here with the 57. He's going to get a big run off the top here, and they're going to stay side by side, but I think it's going to be enough. Maybe not. Noah Michalski battling back. A little shortcut through the apron. They're going to be side by side again here going into turn one.
Another driver has brought it down pit road for the undercut idea. That's going to be the 2 of Bradley Cooper. She will be on his way out back onto the track now. Philip Brewer is going to get by. Both drivers 1 lap down, but a whole lot of drivers ahead that still need to pit. Floyd up to the top part of the track here. Michalski's going to wrap that bottom line. Doesn't get the exit speed that he needs, so it's still going to be the 57 ahead at the line. Everybody else pretty well single filed out through the rest of the field. A little bit of a hornet's nest in the back half of the top 10. Got about 5 cars all racing for respectively 6th through 10th position. This is where the action is at. Noah Michalski falls back 1/10 of a second to the 57 of Floyd. Time to switch it up. Maybe Floyd's got some extra in the tank here. Obviously going for either a perfect split. We might see him come down at lap 75. We might see Floyd go for the overcut. But it's going to be about who has the most tire at the end of this one.
Now, I mean, for these two drivers, I feel like it is a cat and mouse game on who pits first, because we really don't have all that, many laps remaining towards the run here. So I don't know, and I don't think that the overcut is going to be the winning call here. I think, whichever one of these leaders gets to pit lane first, they might be in the best spot to win this race. So, if Dakota Floyd is leading here, in a lap or two, if I'm Noah Michalski, I'm probably going to try to get to pit lane before him. And then you look at some of the other guys a little bit further back, like Hunter Sr., Judson Curtis, Max Cost. I mean, I would really be looking to try to bring it down pit lane here within the next few laps if I'm going to try to have any shot here at the race win.
So the overcut needs a caution for that strategy to work. The undercut needs the exact opposite. Green flag racing till lap 100. But here's a whole lot of cars that they're all stacked up right now with an opportunity to really flip the script of this race. Austin Belke, Jared Skinner, Matt Shanoski, and then that's that 44 of Philip Brewer sending it through the middle. He's going to be 3 wide here with Skinner and Belke. Rob Hamp gets loose on the bottom, collects it back up. That's going to slow down the 24 and the 31.
This is crazy. I mean, the difference in speed right now, I mean, you saw Philip Brewer. He short pit. He is trying to get through this pack as fast as possible to minimize the time lost on the back end of this thing. And he shot it through the middle there, got through him, but you have to wonder, is that slowing him down enough to where this short pit is not going to work in his favor? Rob Hamp certainly looks like he was, on the verge of spinning out there. He hung on to it. But man, these guys are wheeling it all around this racetrack. Battles all throughout.
So Noah Michalski leaves that second place position. He's brought it down pit road, so that leaves Dakota Floyd, Hunter Sr., Judson Curtis, Max Koss, Jared Skinner, Jordan Trask, all the way back to the 14th position of Noah Michalski. We're going to have our leader, Dakota Floyd, brings it down now. So it's Hunter Sr. in control of the race. A 3-second advantage over Max Koss. Skinner and Trask still trying to sort it out here for that third place position before they complete their pit cycle. Trask needs Skinner to get off of that inside line so he can bring it down pit road. He certainly doesn't want to go much longer than Dakota Floyd. Otherwise, it's game over for the 79 here on potential race win number 1. There's a whole lot of shuffling on the board right now.
Yeah, he is down and away. So good stop for Dakota. You're gonna see him on the apron here, probably in this shot as he is exiting his pit stall. Looked like a very good in and out for him. Now he just needs this to go green. I mean, a caution now would really shake this things up. There's some guys that now don't have any tire sets left, and you see Keith Shoemaker up there on the top side He's another one of those drivers, I believe, that was up a handful of spots. So he is in 8th right now during this pit sequence. Started way back in 23rd. Solid run there for the 88. But now if you're the guys that have pit, you are just holding your breath. You can't afford to have a caution here. Otherwise, that throws everything out the window. And you can see all these guys still running all lanes of this racetrack. Boy, this has been a fun race to call with you, Logan. I mean, Kansas Speedway just putting on a show every single time we come here. And, real life or in iRacing, it seems like it doesn't matter. This is a track that just puts on a phenomenal show, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
It doesn't matter one bit here. And now we've got another takers, the 63 at max cost. He's going to lock it down. Keep an eye on him. It is speeding penalty for the 63 of cost on lap 79. That is not what you want.
No, and he was having such a great run, too. You hate to see that for Max. And like we mentioned, it was a bit of a homecoming for him. He was having a great run, but speeding going to get him there. It can be so tough getting on and off pit road here, especially the entry on worn tires. It is tough.
Hunter Sr. now bringing it down from the lead. Collected a couple bonus points there if he was in the chase. I don't believe he is. No, Sr. not making the chase here. So bonus points, no factor for him. Jared Skinner. He's going to collect the lead for the time being until he brings it down for the number 17. There goes Dakota Floyd. And wow, it was made so easily. That's what you get with a 34 lap difference on tires. Skinner's going to run that high line. He's not going to bring it down this time by. Belke and Trask running second and third. Both drivers still need to bring it down. We only have 5 drivers left. It is going to be Wallace, Shoemaker, and Shoemaker. So the 88 of Keith Shoemaker, the 54 of Bryce Shoemaker both need to bring it down. Looks like the 15 of Christopher Hodges still needs to make his last visit to pit row.
And you would guess that these guys are just going to run this fuel tank out. And it's probably a good call for them. I mean, I think it's worth the risk. Try to maybe catch a caution, be in a good
there
spot.
Goes the
getting on the pit lane.
Skinner. He's going to be slow enough to make it under speed, so he's not going to get a black flag, but he's going to waste just as much time trying to get that 7 back straight going down pit road. Trying to find first gear now. We'll take a look back up here to the front where Austin Belke has now assumed the lead. Jordan Trask about a second back. There goes the 29 of Curtis to the inside. Hodges still holding on to what he has left, but he's going to fall a lap down here as Austin Belke gets around. He's going to go one more time by at least. Here comes that 55 of Justin Ritchie, the 79 of Jordan Trask catching up to Austin Belke. Trask really needs a caution to come out if he wants his strategy to succeed here tonight, but green flag racing since the last time. That was before lap 50 that we saw that flag come out. So it's,
really all these guys in first through fourth, I mean, they've made their strategy. Their strategy is, they're banking on a caution if anything's going to work out for them, which it's a high risk but a high reward. So, if they don't get the caution, they're going to lose a lot of time and they're going to lose a lot of spots throughout this running order. But, that's the risk that you run for going for a potential race win. So far, Austin Belke out here leading laps and going to get some bonus points. And it looks like Jordan Trask, Brandon Wallace, they are still yet to bring it in. I believe Shoemaker, at least the 54, Bryce Shoemaker, he is staying out there, but he has not made a stop yet. So he is still holding out for a caution. Everybody else, Brewer, Mahalski, Floyd, I think those are your contenders right now. These are the guys that are battling for the race win if this thing stays green. So right now it looks like Brewer just a little bit up the road from Noah Mahalski. They do have fresher tires, so they will be running him down, but 15 laps, is it going to be enough time?
We've got about a 10 lap difference between Brewer, Mahalski, and Floyd. Brewer with the first pit stop on this cycle 18 laps ago. Mahalski and Floyd 9 and 8 laps ago. So it's a really good question if they've got enough time. They've got the pace, it seems, especially Floyd right now. He started out with about a 3-second gap. Now he's worked it down to 2. And Mahalski finding a whole lot of speed through turns 1 and 2. He's going to cut that 1-second gap down to just 0.6 in the matter of one corner. Mahalski will certainly get to the 44 of Philip Brewer. With the rest of the drivers up there ahead having yet to pit, they are closing in on that fuel window. Already 40 laps completed. And to our knowledge, anywhere from 45 to 48 laps per fuel cell. They will not make it to the end. They'll get ever so close, but it's not going to be enough. They will have to bring it down pit road eventually. Noah Michalski with a good pass here to the inside of Philip Brewer, and that's going to give him the lead once this thing fully cycles out. Dakota Floyd still playing catch up, but there it is, that DuPont paint scheme on the 57. He's got the speed now. It's all go for the 57 of Floyd.
Yeah, this is pretty much it right here. This is the battle for the race lead. Philip Brewer's strategy looks like it was just a little bit too soon. He's not going to be able to hang on and battle for the race win, but now eyes are on the 03 of Noah Michalski and Dakota Floyd here at Kansas Speedway as we are approaching the 10 to go mark. Does Dakota Floyd have enough in the tank here to be able to run down this 03? He might have the tire advantage, but it is certainly not going to be an easy pass. I can assure you that, Logan.
It will not. Floyd, Brewer, two of the top contenders in this lead. Noah Michalski really has thrown his hat in the ring this season. Love to see this for the 03, and it's going to be a battle to the finish here as Dakota Floyd still trying to claw in to that half-second gap that Michalski has right now. Just about everybody behind, no factor at the moment unless something happens to these top three drivers. So that's certainly not how you want to see this race end by any means.
Oh, and I think that these guys like Austin Belke, Jordan Trash, Brandon Wallace, I think they maybe got 5 laps left in the tank. I don't think you can go much further than that. Maybe they've been trying to save and stretch it a little bit, but I have a hard time believing anybody up here has been able to save enough fuel to get to the end. That would be a ton of fuel saved, and I just don't see it in the cards. But they made their bet. That this was their strategy. Try to run it out, see what happens. But you can already see the time that these leaders are clicking off, like Noah, Dakota, Philip. They're running significantly faster lap times right now. So I think even if they did have enough fuel, these guys still might have been able to get up there and pass them. That's just how much difference the speed is.
Bradley Cooper in the 2 machine trying to hold on to a top 10 position. And he has one more driver to keep behind to hold on to a top 10. That's Justin Ritchie there coming out of turn number 2. The 88 of Keith Shoemaker, 1 lap down there, not for position. And it's a little bit of room back for Cooper as Ben Lafter gets around Rob Hamp for the 11th position, but they're going to be about 4 seconds behind Justin Ritchie. Now back up here to Michalski and Floyd as they have gotten around some lap traffic here. Or rather, one of the... No, that is the 15 of Hodges. So yes, some lap traffic here. Not quite in play, but he's going to send it down on that bottom line using those fresh tires. He's going to put some dirty air now on the nose of Michalski and Floyd. So coming around to start lap 94. Apologize, 93. V-speed and math. We don't go well together, Jeff.
I'll tell you what, though, what does go together is great racing, and we are seeing that right now here at Kansas Speedway. Battle for the race lead, just a handful of laps left. Does Noah Michalski have enough tire to hold off this hard-charging Dakota Floyd, or does Dakota make it 4 wins in a row? He has been dominant, and there's a reason that he's got that big cushion in the points lead for the chase right now as we are approaching, 6 laps to go here at this point. This is gonna get good. I don't know if he can do it, but I know they're certainly gonna lay it all out there.
That they will, and we finally have those leaders bringing it down. Austin Belke, the only driver who hasn't, and now he does. So Michalski will gain the lead here, trying to fend off the 57 of Dakota Floyd. But that pit cycle strategy for the 24, the 99, and the 79 did not play out, as they are all 3 going to fall 1 lap down. Jordan Trass is now past 4 position to get back on the lead lap. Here we go. It's going to be a sprint to the finish. 6 laps to go here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Who's it going to be? The 03 of Michalski, the 57 of Dakota Floyd for the 4th time in a row. Or will we see Hunter Sr. find all of the speed, close out that massive gap here of 4 seconds in the matter of 5 more laps at the stripe?
And I've been watching Noah Mahalski kind of on his onboard a lot these last few laps. He is slipping and sliding everywhere right now, doing everything he can, trying to hang on to this lead for this race win. This would mean so much to him at his home racetrack if he could get it done here. But Dakota Floyd, slight tire advantage. I don't know if it even matters at this point because these guys are putting it all out there on the line as we're going to get the 4 to go this time by. We'll see what you guys got. I want to see what the chat's got. Drop your pick in the chat. Who gets it done here at Kansas Speedway? Noah Mahalski in the 03, or does Dakota Floyd get his 4th straight victory in the SNR Challenger Series?
The 03 has about a 0.2 of a second advantage right now. He's going to hug that outside wall through 1 and 2. Floyd sends it down to the bottom. He'll close it up to about 1/10, but there goes Mahalski sliding off the top, but still manages to find the speed that he needs to keep the 57 at bay. Mahalski's still going to run that top line. Floyd hugging that bottom line as much as he can. We'll certainly see him cut through the apron this time. They're both going to do it. Mahalski defending now. He sees that Floyd has the pace. Is it too little, too late? Back to the top goes the 03 and back to the bottom for the 57. Side by side here. Oh, Mahalski loose. Almost gets into the 57 off of 2. It's a drag race down the backstretch. Floyd dives into 3.
Oh, man, this is just crazy right now. Does Dakota Floyd have enough here to maybe slide up in front? Lap traffic maybe going to play a factor here. He's got position on him now. This is the farthest he's been up on Mahalski. Trying to side draft a little bit on the quarter. 3 wide here with Benjamin Richards there on the top.
Richard stays high, wide, and handsome. Lets these drivers by, and Mahalski's going to get a good run down the back stretch. Door to door, into 3 we go. 2 more corners before that white flag is out.
And it does not get any better than this.
So close, merely inches apart. White flag in the air. It is official from here. Who's got what it takes? Mahalski up high, Floyd on the bottom. It's going to be a matter of who gets the better run coming out of turn 4 for the final drag race of the night. Side by side, down the back stretch we go. And it is everything for Floyd right now to get to the inside. Mahalski needs a perfect exit to get back around. Otherwise, it's the 57's 4th race win in a row and making it 3 to the line. Floyd gets it.
Wow, what a finish. Dakota Floyd striking at the perfect moment. It doesn't get any closer than that, and it doesn't get any better than that. What a race we just witnessed here, Logan. Kansas Speedway does it again, just puts on a phenomenal show. Dakota Floyd, 4th consecutive win here in the SNR Challenger Series, his 7th overall. What a season.
I do want to take it back here. It looks like we had more than one very, very close finish. One at .044. Bradley Cooper battling for the 6th place position with Philip Brewer. See if we can take it back here and take a look at what happened between those two. Oh, man, Cooper slides it through the tri-oval across the line. One more quick look at this, and we'll get right back to Dakota Floyd as he's getting his celebration in. But, you know, you got to appreciate the close finishes no matter what position they're for, and Brewer had one heck of a race here tonight. Deserves that one for sure.
And, man, Dakota Floyd, he's just absolutely burning it down on every square inch of this racetrack. He was on the straightaway. Now he's on the end of pit lane here. Man, what an exciting finish. And, man, you got to tip your hat to both these guys, both Dakota and Noah, battling hard, but battling clean, having respect for each other. Both of them able to get out of turn 4 and have a shot there at the end of this race. That's just good, hard, clean racing. And we just love to see it. Awesome job by both of these drivers.
That is indeed what you want to see here on the iRacing service. Jeff, let's send it back to a quick word with our sponsors, and then we'll be right back for our post-race coverage and interviews with our top 3 finishers, Dakota Floyd, Noah Mahalski, and a sneaky pick here for a podium, the number 1 of Hunter Sr. Stick around. We'll be right back.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
And we are back here at Kansas Motor Speedway for one of the closer finishes of the season. Saturday Night Racing Challenger Series always puts on a show here. We're no stranger to those close finishes, but it's been a little while since we've seen one for the win. Let's bring up our finishing results here. Obviously, we know Dakota Floyd got that win with just the slightest of margins, 0.032 of a second over Noah Mahalski after a hard-fought battle there. Jeff, I don't know about you. I was really thinking that Mahalski was going to have a little bit extra in the tank there to hold off the 57. It just comes up a little short. Hunter
I thought he did too.
Apologize for that, but Hunter Sr. has a fantastic night here. Started out outside of the top 10. Works his way up through and claims that third position on the podium here tonight. Congratulations to the number one there. Judson Curtis, we saw him battling up here for the lead multiple times, just falls outside of the podium positions here. The 29 takes home fourth. Justin Ritchie, we saw him slipping and sliding around quite a bit too, but ultimately gains 11 positions from 16th up to 5th. Philip Brewer, who fell back, way back in the field there, had to claw back through about 15 other drivers to get back to the 6th position. The 44 finishes out inside the top 10. Bradley Cooper nearly got that 6th position away with another close margin here of 0.044. The 2 finishes out in 7th, sliding across the line. Ben Laughter, who we didn't talk a whole lot about tonight, but we saw him battling with other drivers pretty well the entire time. Not an easy race for the 64 to take home 8th, but manages to do it with grace. Up 16 positions on the night. What a drive for Ben Laughter. And the back half of our top 10, we've got the 18 of Rob Hamp and the 31 of Matt Shanoski.
Yeah, solid top 10 there for Matt Shanoski. Sneaks away another top 10. In the 11th finishing position, Jared Skinner. He was runner-up last week at Richmond. Wasn't quite the day that he was looking for, kind of up and down. Jordan Trask, he will settle for 12th. Austin Belke, he finishes right where he started in the 13th spot. Brandon Wallace, he started 9th, falls back to 14th. A little bit up and day for him. Tad Dabney, how about that? 10 spots gained here for the number 9. Bryce Shoemaker, finishing in the 16th position, and the other Shoemaker right behind him in 17th. It's Chris Hodges getting 18th tonight. Benjamin Richard hangs on for a top 20 in 19th, and Max Cost, a bit of an up and down day for him as well. He will settle for 20th.
And the last of our field, we've got the 41 of Tim Shanoski taking home the 21st position, the 60 of Stephon Davis in 22nd. Caleb Weekly, not the night that he wanted to see. The 13 finishes behind the wall in 23rd. Morgan Cook, we saw him up in the top 5 for so long of the first half of the race, but ultimately he met the wall and the car met the garage quickly after. The 51 finishes out in 24th. And last but not least, the first caution that we had on the night, where Chris Rude just unfortunately had nowhere to go and just destroyed the front end of the 32 car, getting wrapped up with Stephen Davis. He'll finish out in the 25th position on the night. That will be all for our drivers who made the show here. And we've got some interviews to get into, Jeff, who I believe you're standing by with our third place finisher, Hunter Sr. now.
I am. I'm down on pit lane here after a solid performance here from the number 1 car driving that Oreo paint scheme. Hunter, you started back in 12th, but seems like you quickly made your way up towards the front. You were a contender all night long. Take us through your night.
I mean, off the start, I was kind of nervous. I kind of ran the back of Rob Hamp, I think that's his name. Hit him. Thought I had damage for a bit there, and was just kind of run the bottom, kind of let people go. But over time, I started noticing that bottom was able to just save so much tires better than the top, and able to work my way through the field pretty easily. We couldn't catch a break with those cautions. Every time we got around 20 to 25 laps, the caution would come out, and around that time was when my car would start coming in, and I'd be able to start running people down.
Seems like you haven't quite been able to get the finishes that you've wanted in this series, particularly. You've been with us for a few weeks now, and now you finally break through, get that first podium finish. You joined us for the SNR Cup Series last week and actually posted a top 10 in your first ever start. I mean, that's got to do something for the confidence, right? Moving forward through the rest of this season, but maybe seasons to come, starting to maybe peak at the right moment. Do you feel like it just took you a little bit to get going, or was it just maybe a string of bad luck, and maybe we can expect these types of runs moving forward?
I'm gonna put it on bad luck, really. I mean, Indianapolis, I think I ran a really great race. Just bad pit strategy, and I think the week after that, I think it was Vegas, if I'm correct. No, Martinsville kind of got caught up in some wrecks, and Vegas sadly had a power outage, and that was the race I was expecting to finish in the top 3 most definitely. I had a really great car there, but tonight was a great move forward, especially last week when we ran at Iowa, finishing the top 10 like that, racing against some. This league has just got some great people in it, great competition. Be able to put myself up there and be able to race race with these guys and be able to kind of put myself in good scenarios. Tonight didn't get caught up in any wrecks, didn't hit anybody or get any scenarios where I'm on pit road getting black flagged or bad pit strategy. So to be able to put speed up there and finish third is really great, and hopefully moving forward I can put more finishes like that.
Yeah, definitely a solid performance from you tonight, and it was certainly a lot of fun to watch you pass a lot of cars. Real quick, though, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank, maybe give a shout out to? I know you got a lot of good teammates to maybe bank some ideas off at Juicy Spider. Just the floor is yours. Anybody you want to thank, maybe shout out?
I wouldn't say good teammates. They're the best teammates you can have, honestly. When I work with those guys, I've noticed so much improvement. Nick, Josh, Donald, Jared, Mike, even though he's not on the track, he's still a great help for everybody. And there's a lot of guys, there's probably more that I could say thanks to, but all of Juicy Spider, High Side Podcast, not just, for them being great teammates, the content they make, and pretty much the work they put into putting everybody on the track and making sure they compete in a great piece of competition is just, you can't ask for better teammates. And I wish I could say thank you a million times to them, but they know that we all appreciate what they do for us, and you just can't ask for better teammates.
Hunter Sr., third place tonight at Kansas Speedway. Thanks for talking with us.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good night.
So Hunter Sr. brings it home for a podium finish for the first time tonight. Moving on to second place finisher, it's Noah Mahalski, just so close. Logan is standing by with him.
Now we've got the 03 down here on the second step of the podium. What a race for you, Noah Mahalski. That was a fantastic battle coming to the ending laps there. We only had a 1 lap difference on the tires between yourself and the 57. What more did you need out of this car to keep him at bay and take home a win here for the 4th time this season?
I think lap traffic not being there probably would have helped a lot. I don't know. It was a great race. Off the start, we kind of got into someone on the restart, and that first run, I kept dropping spots, and I was like, "What's going on? Why is everyone passing me like so easily? Like I had nothing for them." Well, we pitted, and come to find out, I had some damage, so we got the damage fixed, and then came back out. We were like 20th, and then just kind of worked our way through the field after that. But after that, the car felt like a rocket ship. I just needed the track position.
That was one thing we did notice here in the broadcast booth. Caught that damage on the back bumper. Not quite sure how you got it, but that kind of leads me perfectly into the next question. how much did that really affect it? You said you were starting to feel like you were dropping like a rock. It didn't look like it would have, but how free was that loose end on already a pretty loose setup?
Oh, it was terrible, Logan. It just took away all the side force of the car, and I like during practice stuff it was a little bit loose, but it was manageable. And then like I'd go into the corner and I would just think about touching the gas and try to spin the rear tires, and I was like, what's going on here? So, but yeah, we got that fixed, and it was just felt like a rocket ship after that.
So that pit cycle right at that right time to get that damage repaired. And then you had quite the drive back up here. Saw you in the lead for 17 laps and ultimately just put on one heck of a show all the way to the finish. Noah, congratulations here on P2. We'll see if you can carry that momentum into next week. But for now, the floor is yours. Who would you like to say thanks to?
Well, just thank you to all the people watching. Thanks to all the league sponsors and you guys up here at V Speed. I hope we put on a good show tonight. I driving the wheels off the thing, so I don't think I could have drove any harder than I did. But I want to thank you guys and thank everyone for watching.
You absolutely put on a show, sir. Congratulations once more, and we'll see you next week, buddy.
All right, thank you, sir.
Omahalski with a P2 finish here tonight, up 2 positions from that 4th starting spot, and just right at 101 laps ago. Pretty well, Jeff, but we've got one more to get into, and it's the guy who's made history here in SNR with his 4th race win in a row. Jeff Wright standing by with Dakota Floyd.
I am in victory lane here with race winner Dakota Floyd, and real quick, I mean, we just got to go through those last final laps, Dakota. We were thinking maybe Noah had you covered there. The short pit, got up front, got some clean air, got some track position on you, but you stayed cool, calm, collected, and you struck when it counted most right there on the final lap. Take us through those closing laps. Did you feel like you were going to have a shot there coming to the white, or were you starting to get a little bit nervous there in that cockpit?
Yeah, when about 10 to go, I was getting pretty nervous because when I got to him, he started running the top lane really well, and he was kind of beating me off the corner. So I wasn't really closing on him like I was coming up to him. So I just had to maintain the rears because I was starting to drive it really hard and it was starting to get really loose off the corner. So I was getting nervous that I wasn't going to be able to get to his inside and hopefully slide up in front of him. But I think at one point he kind of clipped the entry to 1 and slowed him up on entry enough for me to kind of send it in there and at least get well enough alongside of him to maintain the momentum and just kind of race him to the end and just hope I had a better run off the corner coming to the checkered. And thankfully I did.
Seemed like the track kind of went through a couple of different transitions from the start of the race through the middle to the end. We saw some comers and goers. Obviously, you started on pole, led some laps, but then we saw, Philip Brewer kind of come into the picture. He led a portion of this race. No Mahalski gets up there, leads some laps. When you get shuffled back in traffic, I mean, how did the balance of the car feel? I mean, obviously, the best place to be on the racetrack is typically the lead spot. But we saw once you got back in traffic, it looked like maybe you'd fade for a few laps. Was that by design? Was that you kind of backing off, trying to save the rear tires? Or take us through, I guess, the thought process through that? Because it seemed like, just as we thought you were starting to fade, 10 laps later, here you are battling for the race lead again.
Yeah, I think those couple times those guys had gotten by me, I was the whole time just trying to protect the rears as best as I could. And when those guys got by me, there was no sense at that point in the race to like really push it to try to get back to clean air. Cause honestly, clean air and dirty air really wasn't affecting the handling of the race car, at least for me. So if I just kept taking care of it and not let them drive too far away, I knew I could get back there, battle them for it, and hopefully get past them. So yeah, I wasn't too worried when those guys got by me, but it's the whole race. I think it was just a matter of managing the rear tires.
It was certainly a fun race to watch. I mean, I think Logan and I both agree, probably the race of the season, right, Logan, in terms of just the finish and the battle. And props to you and Noah Mahalski for putting on just an absolute show there at the end. And you guys kept it clean. It was close, tight racing, but you guys have a lot of respect for each other. And to go out there and, close it out like that on the final lap without getting dirty, that definitely says a lot about you for sure. 1 week's time, we go out to Michigan, high-speed racetrack, big 2-mile oval. does the hot streak continue? I mean, it seems like you are by far the guy of the beat every single week. I think those V-Speed odds are going to get a little bit lower yet. What do we got in store for Michigan in 1 week?
Yeah, I think we have another strong chance to keep it going. I love Michigan a lot, especially in this car. And it's another combo that's as loose as it was tonight. I mean, exit off the corners, it's going to be really heavy on the rear tires. So I think a lot of the guys that were fast tonight are going to be fast next week. It's going to be a lot of rear management and just being consistent. But I think I have a good chance of keeping it going there. I find a lot of good speed at Michigan usually, so I'm hoping to keep it going, but if not, at least a really good finish next week.
Well, Dakota, 4 wins in a row and 3 wins in a row to start the chase. Certainly looks like it's going to be tough for anybody to take this championship points battle away from you. 36 points to the good after this race. Real quick, before we let you go, though, the floor is yours. Any shout outs or thank yous when you give out there?
Yeah, first and foremost, always got to shout out the teammates. Justin Ritchie had a really good top 5 finish tonight. I really hate to see Morgan get wrecked out of the race. He's really good at this racetrack. He's learned a lot here. He's become a menace at this track. So I really hate to see that for him because I know he was looking for a really good finish here. And Bradley had another good finish as well, almost in the top 5. So I'm really glad that the team as a whole was able to put a really good group of finishes together tonight. And like I said, thanks first and foremost to Noah for racing me as clean as he did. He absolutely could have adored me coming to the checkered flag, but he didn't. He wanted to race it straight up to the line, so I can't say I appreciate that more because it just gives me even that more respect that I had for him already. So, and then thank you for the whole field. As hard as this car was to drive, we kept it green for a long time. So this league continues to impress me with how everyone improves and how clean the racing really can be here. Thanks to the admins for giving us a place to race every week. I really appreciate everything you guys do for the league as a whole. And thank you, V-Speed, and all the broadcasters that have come through the season so far. You guys do a phenomenal job, and I'm especially looking forward to watch this one back and see how you guys got to watch that battle at the end. And thank you to all the sponsors that support SNR, keep this thing afloat, and thank you to everyone that supports me.
Well, I certainly think he named them all, Logan. That's for sure. Dakota Floyd, we appreciate the kind words and congrats on another win this season in the SNR Challenger Series.
Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night.
So Dakota Floyd gets win number 7, this time coming at Kansas Speedway. We couldn't say it was a blowout dominant win, but he certainly pounced when it mattered most. Dakota Floyd wins.
Yeah, that he does. And, keep that hot streak alive. That's all you really have to do. Is he's got a massive lead in the points now with only 2 races left to go. What a showing from the 57 team. Dakota Floyd just putting it together right when it matters most, trying to defend that title from last season. He's setting himself up perfectly to do it. Well, that'll be all for the SNR Challenger Series here tonight, but stick around. Here in about 45 minutes, we'll be going right back live with the Saturday Night Racing Series Cup Series. And that's going to be hosted by Bradley Cooper, you all know and love him, and Connor Horn. But for the Challenger Series, I've been Logan Threlkeld, and as always, alongside Jeff Wright with the top-tier color commentary. For everybody behind the scenes at the Saturday Night Racing League, all the admins, Chad Klinger, Reggie Ortega. You got, of course, Jeff Wright back there as well, and some others I know I'm forgetting. For everybody behind the scenes at V-Speed, Bradley Cooper, Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, all of our other fantastic producers and commentators. We'll catch you in just a little bit as the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series goes to Chicagoland. And then we'll be back in 1 week's time for the Challenger Series at Michigan. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.